Okay, in our perusal Derech Eretz Zuta, we have the Perek Daled Os Tes Vav in the Derech, and this is a particularly uh, significant one, I guess. Before we spoke about the last two, and you give me a doubt about Al Tomar Ish Ploni Chacham, Bani Eni Chacham, Al Tomar Ish Ploni Oshir, Bani Eni Oshir, and now Al Tomar Ish Ploni Noeh, Bani Mechur. So and so is handsome, and I'm ugly. Shebishas Hamisa Nasekenavela. When you're dead, it all ends up the same way. You a carcass. V'lo, not only that, Ela Shanavela Mochel Nosna Bechina. You can, an animal carcass, you can sell it or give it as a gift. People can use the carcass for some purpose, for the meat, for the hide. The nevela of a human being, nobody can do anything. Pay attention to literally, nobody can do anything with. Okay, I'm not sure how this exactly is supposed to comfort the ugly person. Um, he's still ugly, and the other guy's still handsome as long as they're alive. But okay, obviously, it's all these things that Derech Chaim is Derech is talking about are things where a person has to be, so to speak, matzdik ulavas adin. There's certain things which the mazel was determined from Shamayim. How Chacham, well, Chacham, he obviously said he couldn't be mishamish more, but there are limitations, even if you're mishamish, how far you can get. Ashir, he said, not everybody says the Shnei Shulchanos, that's the Hashgacha, and Tasvav is obviously more Hashgacha, when the person is handsome or ugly. So says the Chaim. You should not be upset at the attribute of beauty which is missing from you. You're ugly, and the other guy's handsome. The perfection of human beings is not because of their material substance. Because when you die, when you only had left with the carcass of your material substance, you're like a carcass of an animal, or worse. If you wanted to assess the level of his perfection in terms of his material substance, it should be. Then the material substance of a human being was higher than the material substance of an animal after they're dead. Man, it's not. It's the opposite. Yeah. From this, we're compelled to say in his material substance there is no significant level or I would say no intrinsic significance. Beauty and ugliness is only in material substance. Every concept, every matter, every thing is not. We can't know what its purpose was, what its quality was, whether it was good or bad. Only after the deed is over. When they pass in the scene. Shimakir Oz, if you can recognize then, Ki Tovu is good, Zel Oshabam Tovino. That's a sign that was really good. But if at the end it doesn't look so good, so shows that even when it was good, it wasn't really good, because it didn't end up in a way which we could see in retrospective that it was good. So therefore, when you see that after you're going to die, your carcass is going to be cast aside, worse than the carcass of an animal, that is the sign that the beauty is only vanity and insignificant. Even when you were alive and you were beautiful, it was not a form of shlemus. Again, I'm not sure it's going to comfort the people who feel themselves ugly, but that is the way he wants to explain what the Ovid story, the Zuta is saying, that it clearly is along those lines. Yeah, he has here stuff in the Orchos Chaim, but doesn't seem to add any explanation. Okay, the bottom line is what he's saying must be true, that everything can always be told only at the end, and at the end, obviously beauty is not a factor, so it's not something which should be define your significance or feeling of significance in this world. Test sign. Altamar ish poni gibar ani chalosh. Don't say he's strong and I'm weak. Shein gvura el b'Torah. The true gvura is in Torah. Shnei Baruch Hashem ha'achav gibarei koch osei dvaro lishma v'kol dvaro. Bless HaKadosh Baruch Hu, his angels or agents, those who are powerful in might, in that the osei dvaro, they do his word. Lishma v'kol dvaro, to listen to the voice of his word. Derech. Don't be concerned about strength. The primary strength is the Torah. And Mishim is Gabra Baskol Torah, somebody who becomes great in the intelligence of Torah. Malachim don't have any relative strength relative to any other malach. Even though one malach is powerful, so to speak, has greater power than the other malach, doesn't matter. But they're in harmony. Each one has its own parameters, its own mission and purpose. Nevertheless, it says about them that they're giborei koch in what? Not in their strength, because that is according to their mission. But they're considered giborim, and they're heeding the word of Hashem. Is Gabrim Bavanas Torah, they are mighty in understanding Torah. That's what they're called, the mighty ones. That includes also Kvish B'Yara Parshas Yisro. The Yisro Koach Hashem Malachim HaKoach Adam, the advantage Malachim over human beings, who Be'iyun HaSagas Torah is in the analysis of perceiving Torah. Malach HaShoras Mesim Kamas Torah B'Yeser Seis, Malachim can perceive the intent of the Torah with greater strength than human beings can perceive. That means that might is only Torah. Baruch Hashem Malacha, bless God, his angels, Giborei Koch, L'shmo were mighty in hearing God's word. Also included in the statement that there's no Gvura other than Torah. This statement includes that included in the statement there's no Gvura except Torah. It's Kamosha Mamar. Chazal say, Barasi Torah, created Torah, Barasi Torah, Tavli Aboya, created Torah as the source. So the Torah is Garmin Torah, by a Torah we can overcome the Torah. Machlishim Kocha go down, diminishes great strength. I read the Ikra Gvura B'Kocha Torah. So the primary strength is the strength of Torah. So here it brings down in the Orchos Chaim from in the same Sukkah the Zimra, Love Grusa Susich Bats Loshke Ishir Tzer, what Tzer Shem Sirab Smech Lim Chazdo. Sam doesn't want the power of the horse, nor the thighs of a human being. He wants those who fear him and those who yearn for his kindness. Zel O Shein Shlemus Agvur B'Koach Gvur Shel Chomer. It's evidence that Shlemus can't be found in the might of material substance. The Meseches that was perfection. Came now love is so a horse is much more perfect than a human being. Koshma does not decide the might of the horse. She has that the horse should be the chosen of all creatures. And from this can extrapolate. Not even does he want the thighs of a human being. Shleimus is not found in the people who are fleet-footed. Rak ikar gvura, what the primary gvura shechovetz ba with Hashem wants. Shot Hashem is here re'eov. What do you re'ev? Habilti ma'orin koach gufam. They don't necessarily arouse the power of the body. Rak bazeh, except in this sense. Shemiyachim lechazdo. They yearn for Hashem's chesed. Vika gvura some who ba Torah, and their primary gvura is in Torah. Yudayin Devarim Eila Yalivacha Lalabavecha. Everything I told you, that not to be concerned with these with different Chachma, Osher, Yofi and Gvura. That they should always be on your heart. And Dami Ayin Basa, know from where you again, claim, Ulana Taholech, we're going, Lifnei Mi Atzah Din Becheshma, and to me eventually you have to go to give an accounting. Okay? As you join here, Derech, Dvarim B'chulei, Me'ayin Basa Kvar B'yanu Lamala. Where you came, we already explained above. Shetor Ba, that when it says word Ba, who are Bia L'makom Ma'amado, it's from on your coming to the place of your where you stand, Umachtzavo, or the place from which you are taken, or the place to which you are going ultimately. Magamas Adam, and the purpose of man is l'chaim calling you on l'tachlis tuvo l'makam beisa. Because it should always intend everything to be perfected for his coming to his eternal home. Explain different savers. This respect, Chachamim are different than fools. Chachamim know that they were quarried from heaven, mimal, above, Eretz, and they're coming into the world. And Neshama, rak ger b'aretz, Neshama is only like a foreigner in the land, stranger land. Therefore, they direct all their deeds to the purpose of the reason why he's quarried, which is b'yonei hashmeimim, for divine matters. The fools they think the primary quarry is in this world. When they die, they're going somewhere else after they die. They believe in afterlife, but they don't believe that that's where they came from and that's where they're going. But that's a new stage. So as long as they're in this stage, and they're concerned olam haba zeh. Zeh, that means shetidam ay bas, know from where you came. I am makom echtzavcha, from where you were quarried. A curry, the primary place. Asher tchuna ba'acha l'sham b'shem basa. I'm not sure what he means by that, but my ba'acha l'sham, I think it should be ba'acha misham. But anyway, that's where you're coming from. Okay, that's the ba means the place where you are coming and where you're going. The place where going there we can consider to be progressing. I'm not really sure what he's doing with the word ba. Let's see what it brings out here in the Orchos Chaim from Esther. Lohi Esther Sama B'Choyo Mordechai Yosef Nechatzer Beis Hanashi Gomer Mordechai Ba B'Fnei HaMelech. Mordechai can be framed for the king. He gave Esther Ma'alot. That's much later in the Megillah. B'Tchila in the beginning, Kasher Lohi gave Esther Ma'alot. When Esther didn't say from when she came, he came Lohi Mordechai Mokum Sheyichan Elechto B'Shem Bia. There was no place which Mordechai can call Bia because Bia evidently, according to the Orchos Chaim explanation, means to come back. That's what it means, to come back to the place where you originated. Okay, now we understand. The halicha is to go somewhere, not to come back somewhere. Bia, he wants to say, and this is a chiddush, that bia means to come back to somewhere. So, ayin basa seems to be contradictory, right? Because it's an oxymoron. Because ba seems to be that you came from somewhere to which you're going back. No, I guess it does make sense. Ayin basa means you from where you came, which is the place of origin, to which you will return. Okay. Halicha means a new place, which is not the place of origin. So it says every day Mordechai was going back and forth, holech, right? Musalech lechatzar beis hanashi. And because Esther didn't say who she was, so there's no bia there. L'kach ne'emar b'zeh kasher lo yigid Esther milad tov, when Esther didn't say where she was from, azeh Mordechai mishalech, aslechto mishalech v'lo kava. Walking, going, but not coming. Like coming back home. Esther said what she was to him. Now going back to the previous paragraph. It says Rus. By Rus it says she went and she came and she gathered in the field behind the harvesters. She happened to come to the field of Boaz. Halichem are two different things. This is the case in which they come together. Halicha was the place which was not a row. It's not a bia because she was not coming back somewhere. But that's not true. Actually in the grand scheme of things. She came from the place where she was quarried, meaning her destiny. Because she came to the place of Boaz, from whose family of Elimelech. Shumakam Bala, which is the place of her husband, her eventual husband. Okay, this Orchos Chaim seems to be a very thin ice, but it's very interesting, very cute. He has something then about Medrash Tanchuma, which we'll skip, and there it says, this one is important. Person is going into the house of his world. Malame is teaching us to call tzaddik with tzaddik oslam ador if you follow. Every tzaddik gets a eternal dwelling place according to his honor. Mashal melch basav adam is like a human king. Shenichnas hu ba'avad Medina, and he and his servants came into a country. Kshem nichnasim, and they come in nichnasim b'shar echad. They all come in one gate. Kshem lanim, and when they came to the hotel, even though they all came in one gate, nosim kol echad model v'kvodo. They give each servant a suite according to his level. Why do you need the marshal? He already explained. Everybody's going to his base home. Each one gets his own suite. What's the marshal adding to the explanation? But this is what the pshat is. They had a difficulty. Since it says as well, because even tzaddik his world. It should say not holech adam al beis olamo, but ba beis olamo. That's his chelik in olam haba, right? That's like Chavetz Chaim's point. It doesn't say ba olam haba; it says li olam haba. So, but Pashas is kol Hashem chelik ba olam haba, and that's it shouldn't be holech. He's ba, right? This is the main quarry of his and purpose. Like it's going back to his own home, like it says above. Therefore explains the Moshe Melizas Holech HaKavon Alicha Derech HaKever. So Chavetz Chaim would have said that it means that your Olam Haba doesn't exist yet. You build your own Olam Haba. You have a chelka, you have a plot, but then you have to build it. So that's Holech Adam. Not coming back because you're constructing something new, but that's not what he says. He says it's like, it means you're going to the grave. Shuashar, that is the real gate. But don't think that grave is the ultimate place. You go through there, walking. That's not your ultimate purpose. And from there, you're going to come, Berino Beis Olamo. Okay? In other words, that you might talk Yochadam Beis Olamo. Not sure I'm so happy with this, but you might talk Yochadam Beis Olamo means the kever. No, it's the same. The marshal's telling us not the kever. It means the hotel after the kever. The kever is the shar, and then you go to the hotel afterwards. Okay? So before we said Lana Tolech Lamala Biarno, or Derech says explained before, Shilkulchi Sadosif Shalom, a person's breaking down, Maschim Yom Adol begins from the day he's born. So Lana Tolech, Shibcho Rego Lech Adam Beis Olamo. So you're constantly breaking down. Lifnei Miyatzah thing, Din Mecheshbon, Din Haino Onesh. As he has Dvarim Bilti Mukshorim. So Din is the judgment and the penalty on things which are inappropriate. Cheshbon, Hainam Niasas Yasitov. Cheshbon is, why didn't you do good? So, din is, for this you should be punished because you did something wrong. Cheshbon is, tell us why you did something right. Let's see about this. Talking about it's possible also. Lefish Kol Masim Shadamo say everything a person does marichin or some lumal they evaluate them on high. Lefi erech v'pu'ula based on the activity, and the person who acted. Zeu din lefi apula. The din is according to din means the activity. Cheshbon. Lefi erech hapoel, according to the value of the person who acted. Okay, I like the first pshat better. Stop here.